All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Let me get this tweeted out here real quick so everybody can join us. Awesome. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. I'm pretty excited about today's live stream. So, free live stream because really cool topic that actually one of our new YouTube chat room guys, a winner, had started talking about this yesterday, so I did a little more research on it. It really is pretty interesting. It's called the Fibonacci ARCS. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's take a real quick look to see how SPX is doing. I'm going to go ahead and extend this over. So this is the sort of that whole resistance line that we've been kind of running into. It's right at the 78.6 retracement of the high to low from the double top in October all the way to now. So pretty key area again, right? So you can see what happened is that we this is on the daily time frame. So we came up, right, hit the pitchfork, kind of hit this reaction line area. And remember, this reaction line area corresponds from this really big move here from the double highs to the Christmas bottom, and then and then the reversal, of course. And so what you do is you extend that channel over and you find another pivot point and then extend it forward. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And so that we're just kind of looking at this right here. So you can see this kind of moved about 2787 down 2796 or 2696. So pretty decent sized move here, and that's about the same kind of length here. Not quite as much, but it kind of moved down that reaction line a little bit, and then kind of came back up, right? So right now it's retesting the large pitchfork level, and the large pitchfork is all the way from early 2018 and extends over the major move up through 2018. And so this pitchfork has really helped us, kind of gauge the whole market, right? As we've kind of gone down here, right, pivoted at the low end of the pitchfork, paused several times at the median line of the pitchfork, and then broke its way up all the way to the top. So last time, every time it seems to run into this resistance, the bears really growl and push it down. So I don't know if it looked a little timid today, right? Kind of a small bar today. In fact, one of the smallest range bars in a while. Today was only 11.59, and some of these 13. You don't see a lot of. It's probably one of the narrowest range days in a while. Which is to be expected after a big move like yesterday, right? We had a huge move up. It almost like was a Mariposa bar all the way from the bottom to the top, just never stopped all day. So really narrow range day today. So I would expect a little bit of movement tomorrow. Very possible that it tries to push to the upside and then gets rejected and then comes back down. So it could be a little bit of a volatile day. And a lot of times those really narrow range. Let's see. Actually, this was 11.22, and this is 11. Actually, yeah. So it wasn't too long ago. There was that inside day here. So sorry, but for the most part, it's very rare to see the SPX under those levels. So it's still pretty significant and right at that pitchfork top here. So I would expect to get some movement tomorrow. Now, don't get me wrong. It is possible that we could have 2 days in a row. So this was 14 and this was 13 range, and then after those 2 days, then we had an explosive move the next day to the downside. So let's see what it does tomorrow. It should be pretty interesting. A lot of stuff is kind of going on now. I mean, pretty amazing is the Boeing story right now. So we'll see how that continues. That'll be on our 30-minute. Actually, it'll be on the 15 orb list because so many different countries in the European Union, to stop flying their flight. The U.S. keeps on saying that it's okay, but we'll see how that comes out. There's a lot of people that I'm seeing are refusing to fly on those airplanes. Until they're absolutely 100% certain. So to me, I think they're taking the wrong course and should automatically be, self-grounding their flights until they can come to a resolution, because otherwise it's going to come back to haunt them. But we'll see. So anyway, so there's the SPX. This pivot here looked really good. Looked like it was coming down, but again, we had the this Fibonacci, the 61.8. Level here, right, and then plus the reaction line, so it held on to that and kind of came back up. So let's see how it handles this level. If it does pivot again, I would expect a further push down to see where it goes. But you might want to test that that 2820, that magic 2820 level, and if it does, and it could somehow get through this resistance, then we could definitely see an explosive move to the upside. So definitely something to keep an eye on. So lots of interesting stuff. I was actually just doing my usual scans and trying to find something a bullish setup for tomorrow. And honestly, I found a few, kind of a few ones that look, pretty good to the short side. I haven't found anything yet that really is looking super bullish. I mean, CMG I think could be okay. You might get a continuation play. I mean, it was on the game plan yesterday. We were looking for a pennant breakout, and we got that today. So that was pretty impressive move. But it's basically at all-time highs. So I mean, normally I would say, yeah, give it a try to to go long over that. But right now, I feel like it might work on sort of like another pullback. Then we'll look for a break later. So I feel like that was the move right there. So it was pretty good. I mean, you could always check to see if there's follow through. Occasionally you get move like this, and you get some follow through the next day. But here it could go inside. Here you had one, but it barely nice big day, and kind of move back in, right? So just be careful of that one. It's really tough to find like a great bullish setup. I guess maybe of all of them, maybe Google. I guess I'll have that on the long list because it has so far, it's done the best of all the FANG stocks in terms of where it's at relative position, right? And so here you can see it broke through the volumetric resistance and it held above it, and so that's really key. So let's just go to the candlestick real quick and just take a look at that. So not quite the inside bar there, but really strong push there today. Yorikiri bar right there. So I guess I'll have this on the bullish list. So if it breaks today's high, it could go higher. But it just seems to me after a bar like this, you would probably get a pause or like a doji or something like that. But that actually looks like the most bullish stock. So I'll add that to the game plan for tomorrow. That's pretty much all I have with that. Okay, good. All right, so what I want to talk about today is the Fibonacci ARCS. And so totally didn't even think about doing this. I like to go through all the tools that Thinkorswim has to offer, and let's just go with we'll go with Google here. Let me get a few more days on this. Let's go 90 days, so we can really kind of see what's going on here with Google. And we'll show you on this. I'll probably show another example too. Really cool stuff. So the Fibonacci arc is where we go. We're here. It's gonna be too crazy to do on the on Google on this time frame. So let me switch to the 15. See if I can find anything interesting there. Just this type of huge move. I'm gonna go back to Facebook. Facebook was pretty good. That was I used for the profile video picture anyway. So we'll go back to the 5. Go time frame. We'll make that 20 days. You just kind of can see because we had a pretty good. I'm pretty sure I found a good zone. Goodness gracious. Let's go to the hourly. That's not the 2 hours. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Go there. We'll go 90 days. I'm trying to get a little more stuff. I need more days. Let's just go for the whole year. There we go. All right, let's get some. See if we can compress a little more in there. Okay. So the idea is with the Fibonacci arcs is you go from high to low, and I think you can go low to high too, just like the Fibonacci fans, no problem, right? So what you want to do is you find the time frame that works the best for you, and you take a high to low. And what it does is, so it's here on the right hand side. You click the little hand button or whatever you have down there for your tools, and you go on the right side, and then we have Fibonacci spiral. Well, we have cycle brackets, Fibonacci spiral, and then we have Fibonacci arcs. Okay, so what this is it kind of shows you. You draw a line, and this is called your. I think it's called the base bar. Just double check that real quick. I have all the information, of course, in the description, which should help a little bit there. I'm pretty sure base bar. Yeah, baseline. Okay, so that's fine. So it's a baseline. So what you do is you draw the baseline from the high to the low, right? And it automatically makes these arcs. And what it does is it takes typically it does like a half arc. And what it does is it takes the different levels. I know these look equidistant, but what it does is it takes your different retracement levels off of your Fibonacci, your golden retracement. So basically, if I drew it, let me show you this real quick. So let me remove this before we get into the exciting part of it. Remove drawing. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci arc. I'll just draw it straight down from here, right, all the way down to just say here. Okay, and then I'm going to take a Fibonacci retracement tool, go from here, and take it down here. And you can see what it does, right? You can see exactly what it does. Is it takes an arc and it goes through the. If you can see that, let me activate that and draw it to the left. Okay, here. Okay, so you can see this arc right here intersects at the 38.2. This intersects at the 50. It intersects your baseline, right? And this one intersects at 61.8. And you can customize it, right? So you can use the other ones. So you can go 78.6, right, and all that. So let me, in fact, let me add those because those are pretty significant levels too. So I'm going to edit properties. I'm pretty sure I can add a curve. We'll add the 0.786. Okay, and I'll make that the same color as those. And same color for all curves. Yep. Save as, I'm going to make those level 3s so you can see them better. We'll save it as a default, so next time I draw one, you'll see more. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's fine there. Save as default. Okay. All right, good to go. All right, so here I just added the 78.6 retracement. So now you can see they look equidistant, but they're not quite equidistant because the bigger you get, the more pronounced it'll be. But here you can actually see that that's much bigger here, and that retraces the baseline, right, of 78.6. Now watch what happens if I activate this and move it here. It's going to change, right, because I'm changing the size of it. So it may be here, equidistant, but if I change the distance, the length of that line, your Fibonacci retracements are going to be different. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm just going to go from peak to trough, which is what we like to do anyway with our fib fan lines. I'm going to remove that Fibonacci retracement. Okay, and you can kind of use this as a potential predictive tool, just like we use Fibonacci's, to see where we might find support and resistance. Okay, and it is really pretty cool. I mean, just watching how it could potentially retrace through some of these levels, right? So really doesn't give you too much here, but it does show you in the past, some interesting areas, right? You can kind of see some pivots that it goes through, things like that. But from this level here, right, you can see what happened, right? So your first level, right, your of your Fibonacci fan, the 23, right? Right? Oh, actually, it doesn't have the 23. Let me add the 23 as well. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. 23. Add the 23.6. I'm going to add that too. Don't know how I missed that. Add curve and then point 236. Okay, we'll make that the same color. Okay, and so there we go. So that very interesting, right? So now that I've got pretty much all the Fibonacci's in there, you can kind of see what's happening, right? So so here when we found this base, right? So where was the obviously this is a major pivot here at volumetric resistance, but look what happened right before earnings. It got right to the Fibonacci, the first Fibonacci area, and then it gapped up, right? Then it chopped, right? Chop, 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 right? Forming this little kind of bull flag, right? Then it hits your Fibonacci level from here, right? From there to there. So it hits there, and look at that perfect bounce all the way up to Fibonacci. But where did it correspond with? It corresponded with the Fibonacci arc. Okay, so this is really getting a lot deeper, and I really appreciate El Wiener for bringing this one up. Is that it really starts to get into a little bit more than just two-dimensional analysis of stocks, right? So you can see that maybe it kind of flows a little bit more through time and possibly three-dimensionally through space, but we'll get into that a little bit more if we ever get into more GAN type stuff. It's a little advanced, but here, nice bounce off of this, right at the Fibonacci area, right at the Fibonacci fan line, and right at this this sort of downward trend line too. So that was a pretty good move from 160 all the way up to 167. Not too bad, right? If you've got some options on that. Okay, then it kind of came down, bounced off of this Fibonacci fan line, and then finally broke out through the top of the wedge, right through the bull flag. And what it did, right, came back up to the Fibonacci fan, back down to the Fibonacci, and look at this. We're now at another major key area right here. And I really think Facebook is in an interesting area too. So if we go to the daily on Facebook, let me zoom in there. And you can really do these on any time frame. I just wanted to find a really good max and a really good min, and I thought that was a good area to do that. And so we'll look at one more chart. Maybe we'll look at something like Twitter or Tesla, maybe Tesla, and just kind of see what's happening. So you can see here, right? I mean, I'm not saying exactly what's going to happen here, but we almost we basically had a real body kind of harami day here, and had a topping tail yesterday, and then this is sort of a spinning top doji right here, right? So it's very possible that it could travel down this Fibonacci arc until it hits the Fibonacci fan line again, and then make its move up, right? And so, and very possibly where I have this Elliott wave ABC, this B wave is right at this volumetric level, which also happens to correspond, if it continues forward, also happens to correspond with the Fibonacci top again. So this is definitely worth keeping an eye on. I'm going to keep this up for a little bit, just for doing the analysis of charts, just to see what kind of follow through we get. So let me go to one more chart, and I do want to do a shorter time frame. I did have the hourly on here because it looked interesting. And let me make sure I did save that as a default again. Yes, I did. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm going to go. Let's go back to the 5-minute time frame and see if we can find anything good on the that was the 5-day. I meant 5-day, 5-minute. All right, so let's see if we can find something on a different stock. Like, actually, this is a pretty good. Let me just go here. So if we took this high to this low right here, and I use this as the video example. So you go to your Fibonacci arc, you hit your high, also happen to be corresponding with volumetric support, and then your low here, and you can just kind of see just right away what happened, right? So we got to the low, we worked our way up, hit the top of the Fibonacci level here, came down. I mean, don't know what that was. I'm sure there was like a level. Like you can see there's some support right there. So took that, right, broke through. Ignore this line right here, right? And what did it do when it hit the first Fibonacci arc, right? Kind of came down a little bit and then came up. And then we had here, we hit this right when we hit this arc level, which very interestingly corresponded with another arc level from the larger one. We had a real big jump up, broke through this arc, right? Tried to break through volumetric resistance, came back down, held volumetric support, up and down, so it kind of chopped. But look where it tagged right there, right on that Fibonacci line, and then back up. So, obviously with Fibonacci, these occur everywhere in nature. So, we've studied this, a lot more when we looked at Elliott wave. So let's just take a real quick look here and just draw it from base to peak, and that might help too. So kind of interesting, just kind of looking back in time, you can see how this level was held, this level was held. Look at how it kind of, curved down that level, right? Kind of broke down, kind of curved down that level. It's very interesting how it does that. So right now it's just, for instance, this Twitter, kind of looks like it's just got to chop in through. So that's got a while until it gets to another key level there. So this is definitely something I recommend experimenting with. It's really neat. And I think you'll start to see me adding that to some of my, adding that to some of my analyses in the future, because it is really cool. And I think it does have some, not necessarily predictive power, but at least enough to show you that maybe a pivot's coming or there's going to be a change. And when you can combine that with other tools, that can help too. So let's just go real quick. Let's just add an Ichimoku cloud to this. Got that there. So apply. Let's see if there was any levels that were interesting. So obviously, well, we can't really use this right here. We got to wait till we get past. So yeah, so right now this is kind of in those. Let me remove this. Let's remove it for now, and then let's go peak to trough. And this one looks very similar to the Facebook one, but let's just take a look and see how this looked. Okay, so very interesting, right? So we had cloud resistance right here that also corresponded to this Fibonacci line. Came down to the cloud, right, and then came up. Just broke through here, this Fibonacci area, and then we gapped up the next day, right? And then so once again, kind of came up to the cloud, also corresponded with volumetric, right? Big volumetric level, held, broke through, confirmation, another gap up, right? So you can kind of see, that's one of the things I talk about a lot, maybe DMs, and you'll see me like tweet with, some of my friends on Twitter, that confluence is key, right? So if you can find, a tool that works really well, but then you can combine it with other tools. So like right in this zone right here, high energy zone, right? So you have this volumetric level, and some people are just perfect and do really well just trading volumetric levels. But when you can combine that with cloud and then with these Fibonacci arcs, right, you can start to see some real potential for confluence and making some trading decisions, right? So anyway, that's all I got. A little extended, but I really like this one, so I appreciate you guys for bringing that up here in the chat. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to put those in, and we'll run through as many as we can. I'd like to try to get finished by 10 o'clock so we could all get some rest, but we'll do the best we can. So try to limit to about like 5 or whatever if you have a lot of requests. So Nick, Nikolai, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Harvey, what's going on, buddy? Christopher, how's it going, man? Nice calling, seeing you, John. I heard you lunch it. Hey, awesome, man. That's great. I'll just get the water, please. Can I get the bottled water? But yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. It was a nice break today on that one. So right at the open too. So real easy trade right at the open and nice follow through on it too. So good. I'm glad you got it. So we'll meet up and get some bottled water at Chipotle. So Paul, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. NetFry, what's going on, my friend? Arvin, what's going on? Mr. Boba, don't mind me. I'm just a troll passing by your channel. Okay, cool, man. Well, good to see you. It's funny though. Sandeep, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Everything is well. I hope you're well too. Yeah, let's go back to. You've got some great stuff that we've been looking at. So let's look at LGND. The legend, ligand. Cool. Actually, it looks pretty good. Just be careful of this. Okay, so it came down, right? And this level here, and I love how Thinkorswim does this with the volume profiles, but this level here really corresponded with, nice volumetric support. It kind of came up, broke through, and kind of chopped around that volumetric area, kind of came up, back down again, and now it's kind of hanging out there again. So look for a break of that 114, 114.50. You do have a nice little gap there at 120. So it doesn't look very big, except that when you consider that it came all the way from 278. So pretty interesting there. Yeah, look, it's right at a Fibonacci level too. So a good break there. This is a really nice catch, Sandeep. So definitely keep that on the radar there. It looks good. I was looking for a long setup, and that could be a good one. And I like how the RSI is curling over. So I mean, looking pretty good. MO. Oh yeah, nice one, Sandeep. That was a good one. That was on the news today. It's funny, like, I'm getting better, right, at a lot of things, with trading and all that stuff. But one of the things that is sometimes tough to catch is like if there's a news report on something that I'm not used to. Like so we got the new Fed chief, or not the new Fed, excuse me, the new FDA chief is like the former head of the Cancer Society. I mean, doesn't even cross my mind. I'm like, oh, I wonder, wonder what his experience was, and blah blah blah. Well, I mean, boom, Mo just got crushed by that today. So it did seem to recover a little bit. So I don't know how bad it's going to be, in the long run. But it does look a little bit toppy right here, and it does look like it might want to test, kind of like that Fibonacci fan level. It might be a couple days, but it had a nice move down here. It looked like a really good wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if anything, this could be a zigzag up. So we could may have been finished anyway, right? So we could have had like a 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, however you want to count it. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that might be a zigzag up. So just look for kind of an ABC down, and then it might actually push up again. So, but it is overbought there. So keep an eye on that. ABGO. Let's see how that's looking. Okay, nice. So it held really well, 2 green days in a row. And let me see how it looks on the candle. Is that a hammer day? Of course, the daily being obnoxious here. 1 second. Auto zoom. Yeah, so a bit of a hammer here today. Almost a dragonfly doji. And so it looks pretty good inside day 2. So definitely a break of today, today's high. Could give a push to the upside. In fact, that's such a good one, Sandy. I'm going to add that to the game plan for tomorrow in addition to Google. So that looks really great. So nice one on that. Yeah, so a break of that inside day to the upside could be pretty bullish. I like the dragonfly. I like the inside. Break, go. So it looks pretty good. Let's see what else we got. DocU. One second. Oh, very good. Very interesting. So it didn't show up on my scanner, but nice topping tail today. Took out a lot of levels, right? It's definitely hanging out at the this type of topping tail right here at the upper Bollinger Band on the daily with an overbought RSI. Could see a reversal. So it looks like we've got earnings coming up on Thursday. We've kind of been talking about that. But just be careful. I don't know if it's going to push even a little bit higher as a pre-earnings run, but it's a very dangerous area. I mean, earnings obviously can do anything, but if I were just seeing this normally, I would be looking for an opportunity to short that. So just be aware of the earnings coming up. Of course, you're aware of that, for bringing it up, but whether or not that has predictive power into earnings, I don't know, right? So, but it's always hard to say 50-50. So. Good stuff. Prayer Kid, what's going on, my friend? I know, right? Oh, I know. It's that's funny. All the trading series. Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff, man. And you've talked about that too in the past. I know you like the Fibonacci fans and the ARCS and all that stuff. So Fibonacci rocks, man. So it's all there too, right? All these tools are all here. I mean, it's not like they're hiding them from us. So just use them, and if you can use it to your advantage, fantastic. So, but you're the man, dude. You always come up with great ideas, and always thank you for sharing them. So. Jimmy, what's going on, buddy? SFX. So XFX on the daily gave a topping tail. So to me, just looking at that is reversal, right? So, but it's being held by this volumetric level. So really, if it breaks the today's low and gets a little bit of force there, it could potentially reclaim 50% of this gap. But if it holds, I would like to see like some sort of inside type move. I don't know if it would actually break the high there. So tomorrow it's going to be on the 30-minute orb list. So we'll just kind of see how it behaves, what type of 30-minute bar we get, and then see if there's any momentum behind it. So that's pretty much the game plan with that. Michael Lowe, what's going on, my friend? So LOW. Let's look at the daily. Let's look at our candlestick. See what it. I don't know why it just won't default there. Okay, maybe I have that. Hold on, give me 1 second. There, if I click that, if I go manual, let's keep price zoom. Maybe if I take that off, I don't know. Okay, so here, yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. So it got over its 200-day moving average, right? Kind of a complex area, but spinning top day. It is over a major volumetric level. So as long as it holds. Right, that I would say as long as it holds 100 or 150, there is potential for further upside. So it had a huge run down, right, and then finally found support here, volumetric, hammer day, breakthrough, spinning top. So potential for continuation. So definitely look at that. Let's see how it's looking here. Yeah, you can see this is kind of gives it a little bit better perspective on it. Kind of down here, bounced off of this. So potential move, maybe to the 103, 104 region before, maybe chopping a little bit and then possibly working its way back up. But I like the curve in the RSI too. So nice one there. Arvin, just trolling. Let's see. So NetFry XLV. Yeah, man. So beautiful move today. Nice call yesterday. Always great stuff. Looks like it was, trying to get to that volumetric level. So, there's some potential in this healthcare area. So look for, great move today. I think you caught CVS and some other good ones. So that's really awesome. So, let's see if it continues to push or if it finds that as still solid resistance. Pritesh, what's going on, man? First time here. Can you check chart EA? Actually, thank you for bringing that up. This is EA. I was just looking at that before I started the stream. And I was trying to look for, just some different setups that we had. This is starting to look a little bit weak here. I mean, I know it's kind of like a little mini bear flag or bull flag on the daily, but it just looks to me, maybe this is like if this was, your wave, your 5 wave down, this could be A, B, maybe C, but it just looks like it's getting ready to start, maybe to at least try to test this 92.54 level. So careful with that. I think it is inside day if I'm correct. So just use that as the gauge. Yeah, so inside day there. It's been kind of holding. And so I guess here's the bullish argument of it. For me, it just was looking, on the bearish side. It looks like it kind of moved down, pull back, and then back down. But inside day held this volumetric level. So use this inside day as your main reference, right? If it breaks to the upside, this could be your measured move up, right? If not, then maybe just inside day curl breakdown, right? So that inside day is right there at that volumetric level. So if it does break down, it could get a little bit pushed and maybe test these other pivot lows. So just keep an eye on that. What else do we have, my friends? Anyway, welcome. Glad to have you. Arvin decided to stay. Nice, man. Well, good. Yeah, you're always welcome. So Jimmy Russell, good luck. as long as you keep it clean. Jeremy Russell, good luck tomorrow, everyone. Oh yeah, that's right. So we've got quad witching coming this week. Volatility could pick up and whip in both directions. Yep, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Appreciate you, man. Shirley, what's going on? Let's check out some good levels. If I ever need to find a bullish stock, I can always rely on Shirley for finding a few. So let's see. We've got these. I just want to also take time to thank everybody for subscribing and for continuing to follow, and just I really have a lot of fun doing this, and I learn a lot too, and a lot of times I get some great ideas that you guys come up with, so that's really fantastic. So I want to say I appreciate that, and I get some DMs that are just super nice from you guys. The DMs I don't retweet or anything like that, but I get some really great stuff saying some of the stuff I'm doing is helping. That really inspires me to keep doing more, so I really appreciate that. So SBS looking really good. Pull back here to your Fibonacci level, break, possible consolidation, and then I think your levels are looking good there. CMG we already looked at, totally solid. So just again, just watch those pullbacks, going up. SMDC4S, what is up, my friend? Twilio and TTD. I mean, these stocks, these type of, cloud type stocks and things have just been super bullish, right? We've been kind of tracking this for a little bit. So we had looking for an ABC, and we got that. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Don't you love it when that stuff kind of works? Activate there, and then it's just looking at like it's looking on another wave up. So very possible, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it could be, part of a wave 1. What we do know is that it held, it's now back over this pitchfork level, and it's, kind of poked its way up to new highs. Just always be careful at new highs, because there might not be anybody there to sell to, right, until you get a little bit lower. So you just have to wait for volume to come in and for consolidation and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, this is obviously a very bullish stock and could be for a while. So it may be a possible investment stock or swing stock. TTD can move. I'm telling you, it just does. So big gap up. These are the type of moves you want to catch, right? So it's not a perfect bull flag, but it's not horrible, right? So anytime you get these huge gaps up and then it consolidates right at a key level, right? So this pitchfork we had for a while, and we were tracking this for a little bit there. I think from somewhere from last earnings, and just kind of this type of gap up, and then boom, bull flag, breakout here yesterday, and then another break of the highs. I mean, that was just this thing can move 12 points right there, plus another 3 or 4 at the top. So it looks pretty good. Again, continuation possible, maybe some more consolidation. If it does come back here, I would look maybe I don't know, maybe it'll form like another type of like a pennant or a all the way back into the pitchfork. They will look for another break of that too. So very fun to trade. Just be careful of spreads on this guy. All right, Shirley, back to BLL. You guys are quick on the draw if you can get between Shirley's posts. Ball Corp. Awesome. And look what it did too, right? So kind of right there, tagged the pitchfork and then bounced right back up. So looks good. And just watch your targets all the way to the top of the pitchfork. Twilio we just looked at. Good stuff. So, SMDC 4S was great minds think alike, right? FNV. Nice breakout here, over the volumetric level. I can't remember what I did there. We obviously were looking at this at some point, because this is not I think I was just showing like a price level, like of, potential consolidation or something like that. So, but yeah, working its way up, looks really good now. You got this kind of W bottom here, right? So, kind of a, or you could say like, you got a bull flag, right? And now it's, really back over it. So it's looking pretty good. I don't know why I have this price here. I can't remember what we did that day, Shirley, but looks pretty good. And then let's just double check this level. Yeah, I mean, everything is looking pretty smooth. So yeah, I think levels are good. OFXD. OFXD. That is not coming up on mine. Jay, what's going on, buddy? QTNA. antenna. That is a nice breakout right there, Shirley. So that looks pretty good. Let's, in fact, it's starting to look good enough where we can add a pitchfork to it. So we'll go here, we'll go here, and we'll go here. Right, so nice breakout here through the median line, breakout through volumetric resistance. So, so yeah, I think that looks good too. J, yeah, it's TEUM. Also good, very strong. From 50 cents. And we looked at this yesterday, I think. So pulled back already. Golly, I mean, just kind of keep an eye on it. Might want to retest that. Right, because this volumetric level served as resistance, so it might want to test it one more time to make sure it's support. Right, so nice breakout, and then might kind of come back down to 316. I know it's huge; these are big moves on penny stocks, so just got to be careful with those. And we had earnings after. Let me see. Okay, yeah. All right, so here we go. So here's your earnings. So we had that pullback today, and then earnings. I guess there's not enough data or whatever the case is, but it looks pretty strong. So watch this one in your 15-minute orb tomorrow. And for the 15-minute orbs, right, so just kind of go through my Twitter or previous videos. You look at the first 15-minute bar of the day, and then you look to trade that potentially in the direction of the gap or for a potential reversal. So tough to short penny stocks. Sometimes you can't get shares, so just watch that first 15-minute bar and see if you can snag a scalp break. Just watch your spreads, because on penny stocks, obviously you usually want more shares, and you have more shares, and if the spreads are nasty, it skips over your spread. 10-cent move on 10,000 shares or something like that can be pretty expensive, right? So so just be careful with that. And Sandeep going for CVS calls, nice. I know NetFry rocked that one today, so that was pretty good. Good stuff there. So yeah, these healthcare ones are doing well. Let's see if I can get a daily chart up real quick. Yeah. So it's working right here. You have your, your kind of your 1, 2, 3 setup. Just be careful of a pullback, a potential pullback. Anytime you get that, kind of 3 in a row like that, sometimes you could see a little bit of a pullback. But spinning top day, so if it breaks the highs, you might be able to get a push there. So, but I do like how the RSI, got perfect, huge move down. Not really sure why it did it, but oversold on the RSI and then a nice move back up. So, potential consolidation tomorrow. And then, like you said, if you get calls, for a swing or a vertical spread, it could be pretty good. So, well, good stuff, guys. Oh, Sandeep W. Yep. Let's take a look. Wayfair is just ridiculously strong. So, again, big move up. I like Wayfair. You can get some great deals with them. So, but anyway, big move up. Just, Yori Kiri bar, break down. And it broke that high. Looks like possibly yesterday, came back in, then really broke it today. So it still has room. We've got the older pitchfork right here. We've been bullish on this for a while. Right, came down, broke through, held pitchfork median. It's kind of working up here. So just be careful. Once it gets to that 180 level, look for a pivot there and then possibly come back in. So good stuff. So yeah, sure, you have to get on Twitter. It's so much fun. Oh my goodness. But or just keep doing what you're doing, right? So, but I'm glad you found us here. So, good stuff. And yeah, SMDC, great to see you. Appreciate it. Surely I'll follow you. But you got to post charts. That's what I only follow people that post charts. So, but even if you post your your price and your special charts too, that'd be pretty cool. So, but anyway, you guys are great. Guys, have a great night. I'll tweet out some game plan ideas. Thanks for your ideas too, and really appreciate everybody's support. Kind of going through this. So everybody have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll have some more ideas for sure. All right, talk to you guys later.